Good afternoon, companions, and thank you for attending this month's version of the Fireside Chat for the General Grand Council. I hope that this finds you all in good health and safety, and trying to stay cool if you're up in the Pacific Northwest. I have the great pleasure and honor to introduce most illustrious Robert Whitfield, who is the past Grand Illustrious Master of California, and I would like to welcome him and turn it over to him for his talk. Take it away, Bob.
Most puissant, I would like to thank you as well. And so if everybody will bear with me, I'll get what I'm going to present right in front of me. And so what I'm going to speak about today is the perspective that matters most is the one on the other side of the table. And so first, I would like to start with my expression of gratitude to our most puissant General Grand Master and his executive staff for allowing me this opportunity to present my thoughts on Masonry in general, and as those thoughts may apply to all of our bodies of our York Rite, which of course includes our beloved cryptic councils. What I would like to speak about tonight is how we present ourselves in our Masonic endeavors. This pandemic has really changed the status quo for a huge percentage of our populations, at home and abroad. Examples would include the shift from required temporary work from home directives for health reasons to large-scale expected now permanent work from home business attitudes. The rise of small-based businesses in the past year out of the necessity for some people to pay their bills. The large-scale closure of business office suites and high-rise buildings as those corporations, many of them, realize that there is now a way around massive annual office lease expenses. And finally, the unexpected dynamic of families staying together inside for over a year, realizing what they truly have missed, some after so much loss. And who would have thought that 2 years ago, that online video meetings would become such an integrated part of our life? So much so that many of us now just want to escape it, Masons in particular, and just go back to our normal social creature meetings. Over the recent 60 days, I have watched and participated as Masonry in California has started to reopen or thaw out from many months of Zoom, Google Meets, Microsoft Teams sessions. And it has become evident that we are extremely rusty at many things, from ritual to just scheduling the now enormous backload of events. There are Masonic memorial services for those that we have lost, degrees that have been placed on hold for far too long, Hiram Awards, lifetime achievements, 50-year golden veteran ceremonies, and this doesn't even account for all the various bodies that many of us participate in that are under the same backlog burden. Coincidentally, what has also become evident is the loss of member visibility. Many, and I included, have just grown tired of the video chats at every level. Many of our members stopped participating months ago. So the challenge is, how do we get back to normal? And more importantly, can we capitalize on this restart and continue to thrive? And while this is indeed a huge challenge, it should also be viewed as an enormous opportunity. If cryptic Masonry, as we have a vested interest in, is to thrive, flourish, and be a goal for Masons, we will need to change our perspective so our actions more carefully consider those it matters to most. It is the perfect time to review past procedures, question our past routines, listen to alternatives from our companions, and implement new strategies that create a future for positive change. Over the past many years, I have been our annual York Rite Fall Pilgrimage Area Class Conductor for all degrees and orders. And as an example, rather than just lead the class of prospective York Rite Masons from room to room and seat them on sidelines as they receive various degree presentations, I do my best to fill in all of their dead time with explanations, previews, analogies. I try to tie in connections to historical landmarks or relevant, interesting movies, such as Le Mont Saint-Michel and the movie La Catedral del Mar, respectively, to the degree that they may have just experienced. It is absolutely important that we engage, and engage. Encourage candidate participation by asking questions. Point them to engaging resources, such as Jonathan Spiegel's White Book on York-Rite Masonry, which in a rather thin book spans all bodies and degrees in succinct but clear explanation. Introduce on an impromptu basis several young as well as older Masons that may wish to say a few words to our guys on their own. New candidates should be able to hear, see, and personally connect with all ages and levels. During meal periods, purposely seat engaging senior members, grand officers of the craft, if possible, at a lunch table full of candidates so they can openly discuss our craft. We need them to personally see a connection between what they came into our craft for to see, whether it's York-Rite, Blue Lodge Masonry, the Commandery, anybody, what they came to see and what they get in return. And if they can tie those two together, then I think you have that magic thing that happens that piques their interest. Over succeeding years of doing this has yielded enormous positive feedback as York-Rite men that I run into very frequently, most recently the other day in a random parking lot encounter with a new Harley owner whose bike I was admiring, when he said, "I remember you. I was in one of your York-Rite classes a couple of years ago." He says, "Let me show you a couple of the badges I'm carrying." And he showed me his York-Rite badges for Royal Arch Masonry and the Blue Lodge and the Knights Templar. And on the other side of his bike, he had the Cryptic Council all by itself, siding one side of his bike, as he recalled his experience with his enthusiasm. The bottom line here is that we need to socially connect with each of our candidates. Each man is important because later they become our best ambassadors for the York-Rite in their own Blue Lodge setting, which is what we're trying so hard to work and connect with, and yet we could have 50 ambassadors within the Blue Lodge all screaming our name and saying, "You need to do this." I would submit that aside from creating new councils, membership overall has continued to decline. This is most likely true in many Masonic bodies. Even if we are financially stronger, because we have become better at managing assets, we are probably not evolving fast enough toward organic growth, and we need to change that. If we are to truly get to where we want to be, we need the crowd leading the charge because they have seen something that they can really identify with and want more of it. I truly believe in that adage, we are the change that we want to become. We know we cannot control the way leadership operates in all other bodies of Masonry. We can, however, control how we manage our own space. So the light of our purple family becomes a beacon to others around us. We want the gravity of who we are to pull membership toward us rather than the other way around, simply because we matter from their own Master Mason's viewpoint. They've heard the story from their peers, not just necessarily from us, and that has inspired real interest. Some of our goals. In order to succeed, we need to have a pipeline to candidates. An approach to gaining petitions cannot be haphazard. Candidates come from local lodges and from the Royal Arch bodies. We all know this, and yet we continue to overlook the most basic opportunities that we have year after year. The most important consideration is visibility. If they don't know we exist, then they don't know what we have to offer, and we haven't opened that door of opportunity. Focus on today's methods of communication, not yesterday's. How often do we hear from younger people, younger Masons, your ideas are old. Your fashion is old. It's not what people wear today. Your flip phone is antiquated. Just text me. I don't do Facebook. Just watch it on YouTube. I saw it on IG, which is Instagram. You don't have to change who you are. You do, however, need to keep up. We need younger Masons. By younger for us, that means within the 30 to 50-year-old group, younger if possible, but that 30 to 50-year-old group, that would be our core, on your cryptic team. This is the key to accessing a younger base of membership because age groups beget their own age group, and they are our biggest advertising banner. Many of these men are incredibly intelligent. Include them in your group discussions. Ask them for help. Literally tell them that you could use their help. We are Masons in this together, and we respond to a brother's call. Give them responsible roles. Solicit their possible approaches to problem solving, and you might be surprised at the leadership capacity just waiting for their chance to thrive. Younger Masons want this opportunity. They want to help, but often they're relegated to listen, watch, and learn. And always remember that they always need guidance and a willing mentor to turn to and bounce ideas off in all things. Some of the simple things to get started increasing membership are as easy as your most important events: installations, honors ceremonies, pre-stated dinners, summer picnics, and yes, even well-planned Masonic memorial services. Advertise them well, but most importantly, approach everything with a clear plan that has the whole team's input and buy-in. There is nothing worse than getting in your own way. If you're going to make an effort, give it your best chance to succeed. Advertising doesn't stop with a flyer or an article in the trestle board or a date that's printed a month in advance, expecting that people will just show up remembering what was to happen 2 or 3 weeks from now. It involves continuous chatter and programmed reminders to your audience. Always consider the real benefits of having an eloquent Mason in front of your audience that has a smile and charisma to deliver a well-executed event. Everybody wins when people have a good time. Every person taking part in the ceremony should be matched with their strong point, their skills. Even the greeter at the door plays an important part. Partner with close-up similar bodies to access the best teams possible. Encourage understudies at all levels for the next event. And when it comes to participation, do not limit invitations to the same old email database that the secretary has. Spread the word. Encourage members to give it to their friends. And done well, you can feed potential prospects to your Blue Lodge and Master Masons to the York Rite. Think about that in the spirit of team building. Never forego an opportunity. Excuse me for 1 second. Never forego an opportunity to recognize the efforts of those around you. The light of Masonry isn't just about you. The bottom line here is that vision, organization, and execution, they all go hand in hand. And finally, in order for your organization to succeed, always recognize that your job isn't done until candidates feel that they have found a home. Successful Masonry is not just about degrees and meetings. It's about the mindset of inclusivity. If we are not aware by now, all of us on this Zoom call today, we've stayed in our favorite Masonic bodies because we ourselves have found a home. Men we connect with, guys that invited us to sit with them. We have celebrated together, we've mourned together, we've dined with each other, and Masonry is our second home. We take our bonds and our obligations to each other very seriously. We do, however, tend to stop participating when things become stale, contentious, burdensome, and the laughter has stopped. We simply cannot forget how our road started. This is the only way that we know to give the same experience to someone else. I hope that this has inspired some of you, and I haven't bored all of you. And I thank you for the time to be here with each and every one of you today. Fraternally, myself, Bob Whitfield. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, most illustrious sir, for outstanding talk. There's a lot of great points in there, and certainly things that people should consider when starting back up their meetings and trying to ease people back into participation. I think there's going to be a lot of challenges ahead of us. You know, it takes a long time to create a habit but it doesn't take very long to break a habit. And when COVID hit and everybody stopped attending lodge every week or every other week, whatever they do, they fell out of that habit and likely replaced it with something else. And it's going to take some effort to bring them back and thinking outside the box on how to engage them again. So